Hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing this question paper that was written on 26 May 2021. If you want to follow what I'll be doing today, you just need to get hold of this question paper, but I will be focusing on question 2, where you are required to calculate the clock card. So it says that a ProKit work for Imbeu shop and is paid weekly. The following information is available. A normal week is 8 hours per day from Monday to Friday at 220 per hour. Overtime is earned at a time and a half. That is 1.5 if you translate it into numbers. If more than 8 hours is worked on any day. Lunch at no pay is for 1 hour every day. Workers may choose to take a shorter lunch to finish their 8 hours earlier. A housing subsidy is earned at 5% of the normal pay per week. So use the following information to complete the clock card of ProKit for week ended 7 August 2020. Then calculate the gross wage below the clock card on the same page as shown in the example. I'm just reading on this question paper, which you may have in front of you. So I'm going to go to Excel now, where I'm going to create my clock card. I will try to work with you because there's something that I also want you to see as I'm typing, or there are some things that I need you to learn as I'm typing this clock card in terms of how you need to put your information. So I'm going to start typing on row 1, where I'm going to put my heading, which is the clock card of ProKit for the week ended 7 August 2020. Row number 2, I'm gonna continue to put lunch and then day as well as date. Okay. Here I'm going to put in and then put out, and then we have hours. I'm just using tab hours worked per day. I'm just using tab to move around my spreadsheet, and also the enter key, tab normal, tab overtime. Okay, so before I proceed, I need to check the instructions. It says display the main heading in row 1 in bold and centered across the width of the clock card. So they are talking about this heading here. So I'm going to highlight it across the width of the clock card. Then I'm going to use merge and center. They said it must also be bold. Then number 2.1.3, it says use wrap text and merge center to make all the column headings. Column headings, they are talking about these things here. They say it must appear as shown in the example. So I must use wrap, merge, and center. So it means here it's gonna take a little bit of time. I must use merge and center. Merge and center. I can see merge and center was used there. Merge and center, and then here wrap text. Merge and center was used, as well as you can see that it's in the middle. It means it was centered. If you look at the alignment, it was centered. And then also here I'm going to use wrap text, and then I'm going to center it there. And then also here I'm going to use merge and center, and then again here is merge and center, merge and center, and merge and center. Okay, I can see that this part also is also in bold. I'll just make it bold. Okay, so that's how they want it in the question paper. Then they say use the date function to insert the date in the same date column, in the date column on the clock card. So I'm going to start typing here. My day is Monday, and then enter, then I type Tuesday. But I'm not going to type all the dates. I'm going to use an autofill handle to fill my dates up to Friday. I can just enlarge my column here. Then with the date, you must be very careful because they said use the date function to insert the date. You don't just type the dates. You have to type you don't just type the date, but you must use the formula. So the formula, it says equals to date, open brackets. The year is 2020. As you can see that this clock card was for the 7th of August 2020, comma 08, comma 03, and then you close the bracket. Okay, you will see that your date will appear like that depending on the setup of your computer. But in this question paper, they said it must be exactly the same format as in the example. So we have used the formula to insert the date. In fact, there are two formulas that you can use. You can use this one that I've just used right now, or you can just go to the formulas there and find or you can even go here, the formulas, and then find the formula for date and time. You can see there's a formula there for date and time, and select the date formula. This is another way you can put in your date a formula in here. So I'm gonna type 2020, use tab on my keyboard to move to the month, type 08, and use tab again to move to the date, which is 03. Okay, then I'm going to click on OK. You can see that it gives us the same information, and even if you can see the formula is the same. Okay, but I've decided to use the first one, so I'm going to undo this one. So as you can see, we can use two formulas. You can type in the formula equals to date, or you can go to where your formulas are and activate the date formula there to insert your date. So now I'm going to customize my date because I want it to appear exactly as it is shown in the question paper. How do I do that? Let me go back to home. I'm going to go to the number group. In that arrow pointing down there, I'm going to get in there and go to customize. At the moment, my date is customized like this, which is shown as 2020 /08/03, but this is not the format that I want. So I'm going to customize this format. I'm going to delete what is there, and then I'm going to check what the question paper requires. It requires the month, which is mm. You can see that if I put 2 it gives me 08, but this is not what I want my date to be like. I want you to have to show the first 3 letters of the month, which is AUG in this case. So I'm gonna need 3 M's. If I put another M, you can see that it should give me the whole month, but that's not what I want. I only want it to show the first 3 letters of the beginning of the month. Then I'm going to put a space. Then I need to put a date. My date is gonna be D. You can see that if I put D, it gives me exactly 3. If I put another D, it gives me 03, which is not what I'm looking for. So I need only one D so that it show exactly as what is in the question paper. Then I'm going to click on OK. You will see that automatically my date will change to show exactly as what is in the question paper. What I can do now, I can use autofill handle to copy this format to the other cells that I'm going to need. You can see that the same date is being copied on other field. Don't worry about that. We just want to simply to make sure that we work fast as fast as we can. So you can just only go back to that cell and only go to the formula and change the date to 4 and press enter. You go in there again, you get to the date, you change it to 5, and then you go in again to this one, you change it to 6, you go in again there, you change it to 7. So I did that so that I can work fast because in the exam I don't have all the time. Then again with the time, they said type in the times in and the times out exactly as indicated in the example. So we also need to use the time formula. So it's going to be equal to time, and then you open the brackets. The hour is 08, comma 00, comma 00, and then you can close bracket and press enter. If it gives you AM like that, you can still customize this again by going to the number group, and then you go to customize. You can see it shows the age. In fact, we need to customize this to indicate exactly how it's shown there. So I'm gonna delete this, and then I want it to show 08, so it's gonna be HH. Then I put a colon, and then I want it to show minutes, mm. So that's how I want my date to show. Okay, I can press enter there. So it shows exactly how it's showing in the question paper. Let me see what happened if I copy. Yes, it's going to be 88 everywhere, but I'm trying to work fast now. So I'm going to go in there and change to 7:45 and press enter, and then go in there and change to 7:30, and then I'm going to go in there and change it to 8 hours. So it's still fine there, so I'm going to go in there and change it to 7:45 again. 7:45. Okay, so I did that just to work fast and to make sure that I have all my formulas instead of retyping all the information there. So I can do the same here and move my cursor. We'll use autofill handle to fill that side, and use autofill handle to fill this side again. Then I can go into these formulas and change the time to what I'm looking for, and press enter. I'm trying to work smart here. 17:15, 17 hours, 18 hours, or 18 hours 15 minutes, 18 hours 15 minutes, and then 16:30. So you see that I've completed putting the information there. I also have another information that I must put here at the bottom. It says earnings, hours worked, rate per hour, amount. Okay, I can use wrap text so that all the information appear nicely. Then I'm going to continue to type. Subsidy, gross wage. Okay, I can see my space is smaller now. I can just enlarge. Like that. And then I can put, okay, before I get in there, I will just have to check how I need to show this. So they say type in the word lunch, which is what I've typed in there in bold on the clock card as shown, and indicate in the next cell, meaning the here, that a pro kid chose to take 45-minute lunch every day. So I'm gonna put his lunch there. I must use the time format again, or the time formula to put in his time, which is equals to 0 hour and then 45 00. Okay, so you can see that it gives you AM. So if it gives you AM, remember we have already made changes here to how the date should look, the time should look like. So there's this picture here which is called format painter, which can be used to take the same format that is here and put it where you want it to be. So I'm going to use the format painter to take the formatting that is here so that it can be the same formatting that is here as well. So I'm going to click on Format Painter, and then I'm going to take this format and put it there. You can see that automatically the format is now the same. Okay, so that's how we use the Format Painter. So now I'm going to use, they say use formula and cell referencing to calculate the hours worked on the clock card. Use the absolute cell referencings correctly where needed. Ensure that these hours are displayed in the time format. So I'm going to start with my calculation here, where I'm going to calculate the hours worked per day. And then they say I must use the cell referencing, meaning I should not type. I must just reference from one cell to the next. And then also I must use the absolute cell referencing. Absolute cell referencing is where you have a cell that does not change when you have to copy it to other cells. And then you must make sure that that cell is locked by pressing F4. So that's when we use the absolute cell referencing. So we are going to lock this cell using F4 in our formula to make sure that when we copy it to other cells, it still gives us the correct results. So let me see how we are going to do this. So it's going to be equals to, we can open brackets, time out minus time in minus the lunch that he has taken. Then because we want to make sure this cell is an absolute cell referencing, we are going to use F4. So you can press F4 on your keyboard, and then you will see that your cell will change into will have the dollar sign. So it means that cell now has been changed into an absolute cell reference. Okay, so from there, remember we need to get the number of hours that are worked. So we must multiply by 24. So it gives us that this person worked how many hours? 8 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, so we can copy now this formula to the other cells like that. So it's going to give us the hours that this person worked from Monday to Friday. Now we need to put in the normal hours that this person is working. So how many hours does he work per day? He works 8 hours. So that will be equals to time, because we must put this as time, open bracket, 8 is hours, 00 again, and then 0 second, and then you close bracket and you press enter. Remember, it's still gonna give you the AM. If it does give you the AM, you need to format this. So you can click on where you have applied the formatting, as I told you. Then you can use the format painter, and then you can change this formatting to be exactly as what you need also here. And then from there, you can just copy the information that you need there, just like that. So it's showing as time. Okay. Then from there, you can just calculate the overtime, which is equals to total hours worked minus the normal hours. Okay, let's see. This is not gonna work. Why? It's because we didn't change this to indicate the number of hours per day. So I need to multiply by 24. And then once I've multiplied by 24, I can change it into number. You can see I can change it to number there, so that the formatting that is here will be the same formatting that is there. Then I can use autofill handle to copy this information. Then I can also do the customize also there to number. Then it will give me the 0.25. Then I can also use the autofill handle to copy the formula in other cells. So it's important here that once you have typed in the formula as time, you convert it back to a number by multiplying by 24. Okay, so use the formula and cell referencing, okay, as well as the information from the clock card to show the hours worked in the calculation of the gross wage. Okay, so you can see here, they need us to show the normal hours worked. So this is the column that they need. So what is the normal hours worked? You can just say auto sum, and then you can highlight your normal hours worked there and press enter. It will tell you that they worked 40 hours. Then the overtime, you can do the same auto sum, and then you can highlight all your hours that were worked overtime. And then what is the rate? We were told that the rate is 220. And then the rate for overtime, you were told that it's the normal time multiplied by 1.5. So it's going to be equal to 220 multiplied by 1.5. Then it's going to give you 330. So it means to calculate the amount that is going to earn on the normal time is going to be equal to 40 multiplied by 220. And then press enter. And then it's going to be the same here. So you can also use the autofill handle. Then it's going to copy the same formula that you used here to be used also on this line. You were then told that the housing subsidy is 5% of the normal pay week. The normal pay week is this one. So it's going to be equal to the normal pay week multiplied by 5%. Then you press enter. It's going to give you 440. To get the gross wage, you can just use auto sum again, these three items, and then press enter. It will give you that 10,312.50. So there's something that they said there as the instruction. They said note that the hours, they should be not displayed as in the time format. Display correct the correct with 2 decimal. Okay, let's read the last one. Display the rates and the amount in the calculation of the gross wage below on the clock card as rand with 2 decimal. So we must display the amount. The amount is these ones here. So you can highlight them, and then you can put the rand with 2 decimal. And then they say insert the vertical and horizontal line. So we can highlight this, and then we can put all borders. We can highlight also this one here, and then we can put all borders. And then we must always make sure that it appears the same as what is in the question paper. Let's look at this section. You can see that there are lines everywhere. It's not showing exactly, especially for housing subsidy. So it means this one, you have to merge and center, but make sure that you still keep it on the as left aligned. And this one as well, you have to merge and center, and then you also make sure that you keep it as left aligned. So I can see again this part was in bold in the question paper. So let me make sure that I bold this one. So it must look exactly as how you were given in the question paper. So from there, they say insert the examination number as a left header. How do you insert a header? Insert a header, and then I can see now it's moved on the other side. I can't see my information. There's a scroll bar here. You can move it back. Then your header, your on your left is elimination. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on your right, they say put print out 5. So put it exactly as how is it appearing on the question paper. Some people will just put it in small letters. Some people will even type something else there. So make sure that you follow the instruction. In N6, you earn your marks by following the instruction. So they say save your clock card. So your clock card as the clock card. So I'm gonna go in there and say file, save as. Let me browse where I'm going to save this information. In fact, I want to save it on my document. Then I have N6 videos there. I can open it. Then I'm going to save this as the clock card. You'll save it the way you will save it. Like most of the time, we save it in my documents. And then they say print the clock card and the gross wage on a one landscape page. So you have to follow that instruction as well. You can change that while you are still here under page layout. Your orientation can be landscape, and then you can go in, then go to file, print. If you didn't change it on the main spreadsheet, you can still change it here. You can still change it here to make it landscape. So that's how it's going to appear when you submit it. So thank you very much. I hope this video will help you a lot to understand how to complete your clock cards.